Great. Okay. So here we are. It's 2 minutes before our official start time. And I just want to make sure that everybody understands that I've got some suggestions for some materials that you can have access to after this broadcast is over. I have some PDFs and planning tools on the subject of exercise. If you send me an email, I'll shoot them back to you. I will add you to my newsletter list, but please understand that I do a monthly newsletter when I remember to do it. I'm much more oriented to hangouts and other interactive, working directly with clients work. So I am the last person on earth who's going to be pestering you with unwanted emails. If you get one per month from me, you can count yourself lucky. And the newsletters are the feedback I get is that they're pretty good. So, well worth reading. So you're definitely not going to be bombarded, with the usual every 3 days another email. So that's not me. That's absolutely not me. Also, I have a class on the platform Sparkle, ZPARKL. It's in the notes portion of this class. It's only $20, and it's a in-depth attack on the question of your internal landscape. Right? Changing your internal landscape, removing the limiting ideas, digging down into family beliefs, cultural beliefs, all the things that are preventing you from developing a daily exercise program, a habit, this healthy habit that's going to save your life, literally, absolutely, literally. With respect to exercise, and I also have some resources that are also listed down there for on the nutrition side. I have the most fun cookbook on the planet. It's called 101 Healthy Meals in 5 minutes or less, because so many of us literally don't have the time to cook. We don't have the time to cook. So instead of you running off to Taco Bell or some other fast food place, I want you to cook healthy food at home, 5 minutes or less. What I do with this particular cookbook is I will bake and cook a whole bunch of stuff on Sunday and then freeze it. So it's, 5 minutes of prep on this and 5 minutes of prep on that and 5 minutes of prep on something else. And I've got dinners for 5 days, so I literally don't have to worry if I do that. Some weeks I'm bad. I don't do that. But when I do that, I've got all my dinners done, and then it's just a question of, breakfast and lunch. So, and there's so many fun things you can do for breakfast. So anyway, that's the on the food side. So there's lots of resources, and you can go ahead and ask for them, sign up for them, log on to them, go access them after this this event is over. So let's get started. My name is Victoria Leo, Leo. My company is Soaring Dragon, dragon.biz, B-I-Z. SoaringDragon.com is some shipping company in Taiwan, so don't go there. You're not going to find any good resources for improving your health with them. So SoaringDragon.biz, and I've got a 1-month program, which is wonderful. It's a calendar month, and But you might be able to talk me into the 15th of one month to the 15th of the other month. Sometimes people succeed in talking me into that. It's just easier for me to keep track of when it's a calendar month. Anyway, it's an intensive look at making changes for your health. Okay, so whatever your health issue is, having a concentrated 1 month program really helps. So what we're doing tonight is looking at transforming your health. And this is focusing on exercise and nutrition. All right. So I've got 3 key things to think about. Okay. If you follow this 3-step program, you will have changes. In the history of the universe, nobody who has actually really done this has not gotten what they wanted. Okay. And that's not kudos to me, right? This is the human body, the human mind, and how it works. That's all. Okay. This isn't magic. But you have to do exactly what I'm saying. No cheating. Okay. The old saying, the only place where success comes before work is in the dictionary. So the rest of the time, first you work, then you succeed. In this case, if you do this work, you will succeed. Guaranteed. Okay. No joking. Okay. So many, you may have a history of failing at, whatever it is that you're trying to do. This is not going to fail. Okay. But get a pencil, get something, because you're going to want to take notes. All right. Here goes. Step number 1. You have to understand what you're up against, right? Making changes with respect to exercise and nutrition is not about lack of information, okay? If no one has ever said to you, you've never read an article, or you haven't gotten the word that vegetables are good for you, and red meat is bad for you, raise your hand. Okay. Oh, there's one person over there, 12 counties away. That one person's been living under a rock, never reads any mass media. The Surgeon General has no contact with that person. Okay, the rest of us, the reason we're not eating vegetables with every meal or fruit, breakfast. In breakfast, it's scrambled eggs with tomatoes. That's a tomato is technically a fruit, but it acts like a vegetable. Who cares? Whatever. It's healthy. Okay, so you can have fruits and vegetables with breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Everybody knows that they're supposed to do that. Okay, the number of people in the United States who are actually doing that is a very small number. Why is that? It's because there's more that we need past the information stage. Okay, we got the 411. We know we need to move our bodies. Exercise is the answer to 99% of all the health questions you're going to ask. How do I lose weight? Exercise. How do I prevent heart disease? Exercise. How do I prevent cancer? Exercise. How do I reduce pain from this painful condition? Exercise. How do I lower cortisol in my body? Exercise. How do I reduce cholesterol? Exercise. I'm going to tell you a funny story. I've got a client, and this happens a lot. Person came to me with a specific issue, right? Career issue. And we solved that. Okay. Did some coaching. He's launched on a new career. Everything's wonderful. He says, okay, so, my relationship with my wife isn't the best. What can we do about that? I said, okay, I got a program for that. Solve that problem. Woohoo. And he says, actually, I'd like to lose some weight. So we did. Okay. And then he had it was something about something runs in his family, and he wanted to prevent that. So we worked on that for, a couple months. Bam, fixed. And he says, I've got this another thing I'd like to work on, because it's like, wow, I'm transforming my life here. I'm so excited. Yay! However, I've noticed, right, because he's been through like 4 programs with me. He said, in addition to the specifics and everything, it's like this all worked. It worked, and it was specific to the problem. But there are some general things that kept coming up. And he said, I'd like to address problem number 5. And I'm wondering if it's possible for us to get good results without vegetables and exercise. And it's funny. It's funny. He was laughing about it, okay? He was laughing about it. I was we were both laughing about it. But the bottom line is, good nutrition helps you to have a better relationship, have a better career, and do this, do that, and ditto on exercise, right? So these things that you're doing, these transformations, they're so important. That's why I'm so glad you're all here, and you're all, listening to this and getting ready to, take up arms to improve your health in all these ways. So step number 1, okay, is to address the internal barriers. Before you start eating, the planning meals or joining a gym or whatever, okay, this is the part of your body that is going to give you the most trouble. 99% of the people who stop eating healthy, stop exercising, or just never get off the ground, period, the place where they, to use the F word, fail, is up here. So I've got some exercises that I really want you to do. And I want you to trust me. And I don't want you to go, yeah, and then move on. Okay. I want you to really do them. Really do them. Okay. Exercise number 1. And meditate. You can spend an hour doing this. Pick a time on the weekend, give yourself some me time, and do this. And answer the question, what does not changing give me? Because there are powerful things. There are rewards that you're getting. Here's an example, okay? Come home from work. You got a little voice in your head, that I planted there that says, oh, great, Tom, let's go exercise. And there's another voice inside your head that is going to say, I don't want to. I'm tired. No. Understand that the typical kinds of jobs that people have, you're under somebody's thumb all day long. Even people who are getting paid a lot of money and they like to tell themselves, oh, I love my job, blah, blah, blah. God bless you. I'm so glad that you can do that. But your inner soul knows you can't say no to your boss. You're working too many hours and you can't say no. You can't say no to the horrendous commute. You're frustrated with all these things that you cannot control. And regardless of what's going on the surface, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. Inside your heart, you're angry. You want more control over your life. Now, there's ways to do that. But the easiest way is to find the person in your life who has the least amount of control and get in their face and say no. And that would be you, right? I don't want to eat broccoli and you can't make me. A president of the United States famously got on, national television and said, I'm the president of the United States, and if I don't want to eat broccoli, I don't have to. And it's like, oh my God. That's so mature, right? When George Bush did that, the rest of us were going, what are you, 5 years old? But there's a 5-year-old inside of you that is saying that, I don't want to eat broccoli and you can't make me. And, and it feels good to be able to tell somebody, F you, right? No. Somebody that you can say no to. And what will happen is you'll say no to the vegetables. You'll say no to the exercise. You'll say no to new behaviors, which feel like constraints, because at the beginning of any change, it's always, you need to do this and you need to do that. And it's not, you don't have neural pathways, right? I've got a little voice inside of my head that drives me insane. Literally, I can't think about anything else until I've if I don't exercise in the morning, I've got this insistent little voice in my head going, you haven't exercised yet today. You haven't exercised yet today. You haven't. Okay, I'm taking a class at 6 o'clock. Shut up already. And then the voice will shut up because it's in my calendar, which means I made a commitment to it. Okay. Now, I did that deliberately to myself. I planted that voice in my head because I want that voice in my head. But even me, I've got a 5-year-old inside of me who every once in a while says, I don't want to, and you can't make me. And when I hear that, I know that there's something going on. There's some aspect of my life where I'm feeling like I don't have as much power as I need to have. So do that exercise and ask yourself, what does not changing give you? Okay, so not changing gives you the opportunity to say no, feel powerful. It gives you the opportunity to just be a slug on the couch. You get a chance to say, I'm just going to come home and I'm going to watch television. I'm not going to go exercise. I'm going to eat Taco Bell and I'm not going to exercise. I don't have to learn any new behaviors. I don't have to keep vegetables in the thing. I don't have to buy Victoria's cookbook and do these 5-minute recipes. I don't have to do any of that stuff. So figure out what not changing gives you, right? As a starter, I give you some starter ideas. You've got an arena in your life. You can't say no to your husband. You can't say no to your in-laws. You can't say no to your boss. You can't say no to the church group. You can't say no to anybody. So you can say no to yourself, right? From a longevity perspective, you're better off saying no to everybody else and saying yes to yourself. But that's another issue. Okay. And second question to ask yourself is, as you meditate and you bring all these hidden paradigms, these hidden beliefs to the surface, look at the beliefs that are holding you back and start talking back to them. Write this down. Don't just think about it. Write it down. Write it down. Trust me on this. This really is going to help you. Because here's where the big battle is. The big battle is up here. When I do a one month program with someone to get somebody kick-started on change, we do a lot of hypnotherapy to change these beliefs, to clear out the junk. Okay, so that's the step one. Okay, step two is you need specific plans with rewards for action. Don't say, actually I had a client, she's trying to lose weight, right? So she loses 5 pounds and she rewards herself with dessert. No. Reward yourself with something that doesn't involve backsliding into the bad behavior. It's like, I'm going to quit smoking, and then, as soon as I've got my nicotine addiction cured, I'm going to, have a celebratory puff, Don't do that. Anyway, okay, so specific plans. Start with the end, right? What do you want your life to be like when you get to the end of the journey? Okay. And go back from there, right? What actions do you need to take? What interim steps are there? Pick the first easy, small step that you could take, like, I'm going to move my body for 10 minutes every day. I'm going to do 10 minutes of yoga 3 times on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Make specific days. Okay. Or Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday. 10 minutes of yoga. That's it. Just 10 minutes. You don't have to do it for a half an hour or an hour. Make 10 minutes. Or I'm going to go to one yoga class a week. 1 class a week. That's it. And the rest of the other days, I'm just going to do 5 or 10 minutes of yoga. Okay. For flexibility and strength building, muscle building, as well as peace of mind and all the other things that yoga is good for. Or I'm gonna go swimming for half an hour, 2 days a week, and I'm gonna walk on the other days for at least 10 minutes. And I'm gonna, and you're gonna put it in your calendar. This is key. Make a commitment. Put it in your calendar. And also a key point, if something comes up, because things are going to come up, things are going to happen, life happens, okay? If something comes up, reschedule, don't cancel. Give you an example. Earlier during this current season, winter, it was 24 degrees out. Okay, and I took some time off. I had to take some time off in the middle of the workday for a vet appointment, and things took longer than I expected. I was at the vet's office for 2 hours. I had left my lights on. The battery ran dead. Okay, it's 24 degrees. I've got a sick cat, and my car is dead. And it was very, very cold. It was a very, very 24 degrees, very cold. Okay, so breathe. First thing I tried to do is call AAA. AAA said it's going to be 2 hours. Call somebody else and send us the bill. That's a fair and responsible thing. However, everybody else was going to be like 45 minutes to 1 hour. Okay, so what I did was I got a cab, got the sick pet home, got her set up, So she's okay. She's safe. Then I took care of the car. Bottom line, 4 hours. Half my day was gone. It would have been so, the stress puppy part of me said, oh my God, I can't exercise. I better have time for, okay. So instead of going to the gym for an hour, what I did was, okay, yoga for 10 minutes. I've got a client who, if he gets to the end of the day and he can't think of anything else to do, he's got a tri-level house. He walks up and down the stairs for 10 minutes. He says, I've got paying a mortgage on this stair climbing machine. It works. It's the same action. 10 minutes of stair climbing is 10 minutes of stair climbing. And if you've got a day where you're not getting ready to sit on the couch for 2 hours, watch television. Okay, because if you're going to watch television, but get some hand weights. Okay, you can do hand weights for 30 minutes. Easily. You can walk in place, march in place for 5 minutes, and do some weights while you watch television. I do it. And if you've got family members who sabotage your health, get new family members. Okay, so you're going to make small steps that you're going to make a commitment to. Put it in your calendar. Make a commitment to yourself. If you've got a commitment partner, somebody that you're going to tell, someone who's going to call you every day and say, hey, Victoria, it's 6:00 p.m. What'd you do for exercise today? And I can say, I walked up and down the stairs for 15 minutes. And then I did hand weights for 10. Woohoo! And my commitment partner will say, yay, you! When you've got somebody else cheering you on, it's so much easier to value what you're doing. So keep that in mind. All right? Always have a plan B. Don't ever cancel something. Just reschedule it. And you can make it a shorter period of time if you have to. You're not going to be doing that every day. Nobody has crises every day. By definition, it's not a crisis if it's happening every day. That's just life. Okay. So with the specific steps, you're rewarding effort. Okay. If you get your calorie count and you're honest and you're accurate and you write down everything that you ate, and you get your calorie count down between 1,200 and 1,300 calories a day, if your weight doesn't budge, either the calorie counts are wrong or there's another metabolic process going on. For instance, when you're putting on muscle is healthy tissue, fat is not healthy tissue. Muscle weighs more than fat. So you may find that your measurements are shifting or the proportions of your body are shifting, even though the scale isn't moving. Okay? So reward yourself for taking serious action towards your goal. And the rewards have to be something that you really care about. In my case, I will do anything for an Amazon gift card, which my insurance company understands. And once a year, they dangle an Amazon gift card in front of my nose. And I go, yeah. yes, arf. In terms of these little rewards, what I want at the end of a hard work day, helping people with these horrendous problems, childhood sexual abuse and, all kinds of traumas and trying to lose weight and, everything. Okay. I'm tired at the end of the day. And if I have achieved, my goals that I've set for myself, then I'm due a reward. And what I want, me personally, is an hour to watch. I don't have television, but I've got things I get on my Kindle. Netflix, I do Netflix. An hour with Netflix is my reward for accomplishing specific goals. And I am so motivated for that. That's me. Everybody's got their own. Sometimes I'll give myself permission to spend an hour working on a crochet project. I'm currently working on a 3 foot tall, 5 foot long stuffed animal, a wolf that I'm making for a friend who loves wolves. I'm sure it would cost less for me to just buy her a stuffed wolf. But this way I have fun. I get to create a plush toy, a big plush toy. So, but that's my fun. I get to create, right? Anything that involves creating, painting. Another reward is I'll give myself permission to get out, to have a painting night. Okay. And, or take an art class, So, but set up your rewards in advance so that you know what you promised yourself, because you need to keep your word to yourself. Keep your word to yourself. Be impeccable with your word when you promise yourself. Remember, if you have an experience with children, don't promise them something unless you're pretty darn sure you're going to be able to deliver. Okay? You've got a 5-year-old inside of you who just needs to be able to trust you. So if you're going to promise yourself something, you have to deliver it. Okay? I'm serious. You got to keep your word to yourself. Okay? Next thing, item number 3, is to keep your eyes on the prize. It is so easy. You're tired. You're frazzled. You're angry. Things happen. You get cut off in traffic and your boss cuts you off at the knees, and you got a coworker who's backstabbing you, and it's just all this stuff is constantly going on. And you're going to hear that siren call of resistance, right? The resistance. The number one thing that is going to keep you going is knowing what you're doing this for. If you just want to look cute and sexy in a bikini in July, I don't know what the best words to use to explain this are. So I'm just going to say it. That's not a strong enough motivation. Unless you're 17. If you're an adult, there's a core inside of most of us that knows that we're worthy of love, whatever our size is. So trying to be, cute and sexy in a bikini for July is not a strong enough motivation. The most powerful motivation on earth, well, it's actually a tie between fear and love. Tie into love. I had a client who said to me, I just cannot give up sour cream. It tastes so good. I love it. I want it. I don't know why I should have to give it up. Her cholesterol was sky high. Her blood pressure was through the roof. She was a heart attack. She was death. She was death ready to happen. And I said to her, the key here is you got sour cream and you've got your grandchildren. She had 2 grandkids, a girl and a boy, 8 years old and 10 years old. And I said to her, with every breath you take all through the day, remind yourself and commit yourself. Remind yourself, I want to see my grandchildren grow up, and there is nothing on earth more important than seeing my grandchildren grow up. She eventually brought her husband, and his vision was he wanted to walk his granddaughter down the aisle at her wedding. And I said, apparently in that family, the tradition was you had your dad and one or both of your grandfathers, all the older men of your family, and if you didn't have all that, then your older brother. There was this big thing about you don't walk down the aisle with just one loved one. You've got this strong family feeling, and everybody is so proud. And then the men in the family they wait 20 years. Little baby girl is born and they're already dreaming about walking her down the aisle. And I said to him, every breath you take, remember that you're making decisions every single instant of your day that is either going to make that beautiful vision a reality. You're either going to be alive and well to do that, or you're not. And I said, if you keep eating, meat, and you eat all this fried food, and you do all this, if you keep doing that stuff and you don't exercise, because he had this huge cultural thing going on. It's like Hispanic men do X and Hispanic men don't do Y. And I said, Hispanic men are alive and well and healthy and walking their granddaughters down the aisle at their wedding. Hold on to that with every bit of strength in your body. The only way that is going to happen is every day you make decisions that support eating healthy and exercising. I said, and pray, because devout Catholics. I said, turn everything, turn all the frustrations in your life over to the Holy Mother, and don't spend your whole day being angry. Turn it over to God and the Holy Mother. And 5 years later, they were both, they came back. It was a program through their company insurance. I was working for a particular, doing some part-time work for an insurance company, and they came in. They made a joint appointment with me just so they could come in and say, hey, look at us. I'm not eating meat. I'm not eating sour cream, and and my granddaughter is getting more beautiful by the day, and she's smart and she's talented and she's going to go to law school, and and probably that particular granddaughter wanted to be an astronaut and an attorney. So I said, hey, they need a law and space. It's not just going to be scientists and engineers forever. They're gonna have lawsuits over who owns what in space in 20 years. So, that is what you need to do. You need to keep your tap, excuse me, excuse me, tap into your deep desires. Keep that vision. This is why I'm eating asparagus, and baked asparagus with olive oil and some non-dairy cheese drizzled on top. Ooh, to kill for. Anyway, but that's what you're doing it for. Harness the power of love, because that is a long-term visions will always lose out to short-term desires because of how our brains work. There's a wonderful book called Scarcity that talks about the tunnel mind. And essentially what I'm doing with my clients when I keep telling them, keep reminding yourself, I want to walk my granddaughter down the aisle. I want to hold my grandchildren in my arms. I want to hold my great-grandchildren in my arms. The only way that's going to happen is if you eat right and exercise. That's it. You can't not do those two things. Statistically speaking, there's always going to be an anomaly. But you can't bet on being an anomaly. Bet on the statistical norm. Okay? And use love to bring those long-term deep desires into your tunnel mind. Keep thinking about that, and that will keep you on track. And that is how you transform your health. My name is Victoria Leo. It's been great having this time with you. I have a class on exercise motivation on Sparkle, Z, P like Peter, ARKL. It's called Transforming Your something or other about exercise. And I'm offering some PDF materials on suggested exercises and health change contracts and some of the materials that I use with my clients. If you send me an email and volunteer to get on my newsletter list. And remember, I don't have the time to be bothering people with repeated emails. You'll get an email from me once a month if you're lucky. It's monthly or whenever I have have the time, because I compile cool stuff over the course of the month. So anyway, I'm not going to say good luck, because it's not about luck. It's about doing the right things. So do the right things. Keep your eyes on the prize. Small steps, reward, small steps consistently. Increase your exercise or increase whatever else is that you're trying to do. Increase slowly, go from 5 reps to 7 reps after a week, right? Don't try to, don't do the impatient thing. Don't try to do too much too fast, because you'll just injure yourself and then you'll go back to 0. Okay. And don't forget what Winston Churchill said at the height of the Battle of Britain. He said, never, 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 never give up. If it's if the goal is survival, and it is your survival, this is about you and your longevity, living healthy, living strong, living vibrantly. You deserve to soar with dragons. So soaringdragon.biz. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next week.